Well, hello friends, Coach Bob with you today, and today, well, first off, let me turn this music down. You caught me listening to a little Caveman's Call. Close this up so you can hear me a little better. If you've never listened to Caveman's Call, you ought to check them out. Great band, man, great band. My favorite album by them is called 40 Acres. So check out the Caveman's Call 40 Acres album. I think you'll be encouraged just by listening to it. It's wonderful music, arrangement, singing, meaning, message, all of it. Really, really good. Okay, but enough of that. So this week, what are we doing? We're out for a ride, obviously, on my beautiful 2019 Can-Am Spyder, but we're going to have kind of a serious conversation today, one that I know is going to inspire you and make you feel better. I know you're saying, I feel great already, Coach. Well, you know what? If you feel great, I want you to feel greater than great. If you feel good, I want you to feel great. If you feel bad, I want you to feel good. If you feel horrible, we'll move up to bad. We'll just take one step up. But if we can get you to all the way up to good, that'll even be better. All right. Well, before we get going on that, though, if you would, subscribe to the channel. All the stuff the YouTubers say. All right. So the video is called today, as you saw from the title, The Success of Failure. You know, our life is a series of accomplishments and disappointments. And, you know, I was always told as a boy, we always focus on our failures. We never focus on our accomplishments. You know, if you have a video channel, whoa, look at that big old limb just hanging down in the road. If you focus on anything, it's always going to be the negative. If you come out with a video, or if you make a comment online and 100 people say positive comments and one person just makes like a super nasty comment, you'll focus on that one. That's human nature. That's what we do. And we really need to not do that. Over the years, as I've gotten older, it's easier for me to not focus on the negative because there is more negative in your life as you get older, right? I'm just going to be honest with you. I hate to break it to you young people, but being old is not for the faint of heart. And I know you're saying a lot of my subscribers are in their 70s and 80s, and they're going, Bob, you have no idea. And you're right. I'm not where you are, and I have a great deal of respect and admiration for you because you have lived through a decade or 2 decades in some cases, and gone through it. And you've seen the rough road, more rough road than most people have seen in their lifetime up to this point. So first off, I want to salute you guys. And then there are those who have been in an accident. You know, you see me, I'll respond to emails and texts and that sort of stuff on the You Asked For It, You Got It videos where people were injured and they're going, man, you know, I didn't think I was ever going to ride a 3-wheeled motorcycle, and now it's sparking my interest, and I don't know what I want to do, and, you know, how do I figure all this out? How do I navigate from here? So I'm going to give you a few things of advice and a little bit of philosophy on life and the idea of failure and success and what it really means. And if you were to ask me, and I'll answer this question at the end, am I successful? I'll answer honestly at the end of the video. All right. First off, let's look at life, y'all. Yeah, life, the big question, the meaning of life. There are a lot of meanings in life, but I'm just going to say this. I want you to think about life right now as just the ocean. You know, we've all been in the ocean, most of us. I would think most of us have at this point, but you've been out there when it's rough and you're swimming, or you're in a sailboat, or you're in a boat, and there are things that the ocean is just going to do. It's just going to do it, and there's nothing you can do to fix it. The big wave is coming and you're swimming and you go, man, I'm going to fight that wave. And I'm going to tell you, that thing will turn you rear end over tea kettle, and it will break you in half. It will slam you into the bottom like you were just a little kitty toy. And there ain't diddly squat you can do about it. I don't care how strong you are. I don't care how fast you are. I don't care what you are. There ain't nothing you gonna do about it. Nothing. Or you can say, let me adjust and turn and ride that wave. And it can take me maybe a little off course, or it may even take me more rapidly in the direction that I want to go. And I want you to look at life like that, because life is a series of crazy waves pointing in all different directions, and the surf can get really out of control, and it can get really scary, because you're looking at the surf and you're going, well, this is moving that way, and that's moving that way, and this is moving right at me. And then you've got an undercurrent that's pulling in another direction. There's all these things going on, and that's how life is. And you have to learn to navigate that stuff and not fight it so hard. That was one of the biggest things, because change in life, there's one thing constant in life, and that's change. Things are going to change, and the rate of change, because of the way the world is technologically, the rate of change is exponentially increasing. You know, I was laughing with my children. I didn't own my first cell phone until I was in my mid-30s. It's crazy. So over half of my life, I didn't have a cell phone. That's, you know, for us older folks, so you go, okay, well, yeah, I get that. I didn't either. But understand, young folks they don't comprehend it, because it's always been there. We were the MySpace generation, was like cutting edge, right? I remember when Facebook first came out, I'm like, what is Facebook? What is that? You know, and doing that stuff. And YouTube was new. It was a bunch of videos of cats and silliness, and we all looked at it and laughed. And now YouTube is taking on a whole new world. It's something that affects elections and the way people feel and what they believe and everything. And so change is coming, change is rapid, and the information is out there, and there's so much of it. It will just sweep you under and slam you into the bottom. You have to find the wave you want to ride, orient yourself with it. So we're going to talk about the first thing you have to do when you feel like life has slammed you into the bottom and you've got the wind knocked out of you. And it could be serious, right? It could be cancer. It could be broken bones. It could be partial paralysis, full paralysis. It could be blindness, deafness, things, serious things, unchangeable things in your life. And when those things happen, the first thing you have to do, and this is not an easy one, y'all, I'm going to say that. And I don't want you to think I'm saying that it's easy, because it can take years, literally years, to do this. And you have to do these other things while working on this one, and that's accept it. The first thing when you're broken and something has happened in your life that's cataclysmic, that you cannot change, the first thing you have to do is accept it. You know, Coach Vic, we often have discussed her paralysis. You know, we've been married a long, long time. She was paralyzed for a decade before I met her. And, you know, it was one of those things where she still would, even to this day, will wake up and look at that wheelchair and go, wait a minute. All right, well, I guess you're going to sit there. Okie doke, thank you. She will still wake up and look at that wheelchair and go, you got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. There's no way that my life is stuck in that thing. But she'll tell you it is. She's accepted it, but it's still, every now and then, it just slaps her in the face like a big old wet fish. Right in the face. You know, my first wife died when she was 35. You know, it changed me. It changed who I was. I had to accept that it was no longer Bob and Sheila, and now it was just Bob. And eventually it became Bob and Vicky. And that's a wonderful transition. But if you think that it came without accepting it and without enduring a lot of pain and having to grow through that, you're wrong. It took a lot. My mother, when she lost her mobility and she could barely walk. My sister, who can barely walk. My brother, who died young. All of the things that have gone on, we have to accept them. There's a lot of tragedy in this world, a lot of hardship in this life. The first thing we have to do is accept it. And I wish I had a magic bullet to tell you how to do that, to where you can just, snap your fingers. But I'm going to give you a couple of pointers. All right. So here's one thing you can do when you're trying to accept something. One, you can hit the reset button. Now, the reset button is not an instant button. You know, in the old days when you had to boot your computer up, sometimes it'd take 10 minutes. You know, the old Norton antivirus would be running a bunch of updates in the background, and all of a sudden booting your computer took 30 minutes, and you're like, man, I just want to check my email. You know, it's going to take an hour because I got to sit here 30 minutes and wait on this thing. It's not that way anymore, but that's how it was. So when you hit the reboot, when you hit that reset button in your life, it's not going to be instantaneous. And what does that even look like? Well, with me, I can tell you what it looks like for me. When I need to hit the reset button, I need to do it. I know you're saying, well, Bob, that's what you just said. But when I say I need to do it, it has to be a me event. I like to do that alone. I like to go away for a day to a week and just go, I'm hitting the reset button. And what I'll do is I will radically change my life. I'll go to the home. I've got a little home up in Georgia, or I would go on a camping trip or something, and I would radically change that week. It would look nothing like what I normally do. Everything would be super radical. I would change my diet habits. I would eat perfectly clean. And it's amazing, just doing that alone. I drink at least a gallon of water every day, right? Exercise like 3-4 times a day, an hour at a time. Whatever that meant, go for a walk, go get on a spin cycle in the gym, go back, do a weight workout, do one early in the morning, do one in the middle of the day, do one at night, and then go for a walk in the late evening. And then go to bed. No TV, no cell phone. Go to bed, go to sleep. Let the person that you love know. I'll look at my phone to make sure there's no emergency messages. I'll check it once every hour. And if I don't see anything from you, I won't be contacting you. I need to hit the reset button. Now, if that sounds radical to you, well, that's okay, because it is radical. And that's what I have to do to hit my reset button. You know, we have had a lot of things go on in our lives, and the one thing I'm going to tell you that you don't want to do is not hit the reset button and take those few days at the very beginning, and you end up wasting months and months and months and months because you're angry and you won't let it go and you can't move on because you never accepted it to begin with. So the first thing you have to do in that acceptance thing is hit that reset button and really accept it. Hit that button and really think about it. Sit in it, ponder it, consider it. Consider the implications, the good, the bad, and what it means to your life now. Because when things happen, you've got to know what you've got to understand what could or couldn't happen. So that's number one in that acceptance. Just hit that reset button and accept it. Sometimes you can do it in a day, sometimes you can do it in a week, sometimes it may take a month, it may take a year. You don't want to waste any more time than you have to. You know, in a survey done with those who were at the ends of their days in hospice, when asked what the number one regret of dying people were, here was their number one regret. You ready? Not choosing to be happy. Did you hear that? Not choosing to be happy. Because even in their dying process, they're like, how much time of my life did I waste on making a conscious effort to not fight for the happiness, to not fight for the joy, to not see the beauty in the day? That's their number one regret. And we're going to be there one day. I'm going to tell you, we ain't getting out of this thing alive. So when you're there, when I'm there, I pray that we don't regret not choosing to be happy. All right. So the first thing you got to do, accept it. We talked about a little bit on how to do that. The second thing you have to do, you have to reorient yourself. What do I mean by that? Well, you know, one of the things that I see right now, and I'm going to throw a big compliment out to some other people, and I mean this as the ultimate compliment, man, because I do. John and Miriam, man, they're traveling. They're going to Canada. Check out their channel. If you're not a subscriber, go over there and check out John and Miriam's travel vlog. They're going to Canada, man. They're doing their thing. They're in Canada, or they're probably back. You know how it is, the editing process. But anyway, as they travel, man, I see them doing it, man, and I'm jealous. I want to be there. I want to be doing it. I do. Coach Vic wants to be. We want to be on the road. Jody from Purple on 3, her and Tommy G, man, they are doing it, man. Spider Wayne is with them, traveling with them some, and man, I look at them and they're so happy and they're doing so much, and I'm like, man, I'm just so jealous. I want to be up there with them. I do. I want to be riding. I want to be out traveling. I want to go a long way, right? I want to do something. I want to go on a big adventure. Like those big old birds eating that carcass. Just be glad you're not that carcass. There's a reorienting for you. I ain't a carcass. I'm happy. reasons that I'm not going. You know, last year we had a trip planned, and then Coach Vic had the had a recurrence of cancer, and then she had to have surgery, and it set us back months and she felt bad. She's like, you should go, and I'm like, I can't go. I have to stay here and take care of you. That's my job. That's my number one job, and I'm not resentful or angry about it. It's just what I have to do. It's the right thing to do. I had to set myself in that place and go reorient myself and go, where am I going now? Where am I going now? I'm going to the place to take care of my beautiful bride. A lot of people who have to make these decisions, who have to cancel the big trips and the big vacations, they get very bitter about those things. It's easy to do. It can be something way bigger than that, right? It can be that missed promotion at work because you had to take care of a sick child for years. It could be, you know, not being able to draw your full retirement because you got injured a month before your job or your career was over. It could be being at the 11th hour of your career, or the midnight hour, the witching hour. It's time to retire, and maybe a cataclysmic event happens at work and you get injured and you're like, man, I'm starting my retirement behind the 8-ball. Hurts. You know, that's kind of what happened to Smyrna Cowboy. Now, I don't have all the details, but I know he was towards the end of his career, and he had a big thing happen at work where he got burned severely. And so all of a sudden he's injured, and he's wanting to buy a Spyder, and he's wanting to travel, and he's wanting to do things, and these things just blew up in his face, literally, and he's like, what in the world is going on here? And you know what? I've seen this guy. Dave is his name, Smyrna Cowboy. Dave, God bless you, my brother. I hope you don't mind me using your life experiences that I've just observed, and I know that what he's gone through is way more difficult than what we got to see. Way more difficult. And yet he endured them. And his channel's continuing to grow. He's making good content. He's looking at doing a little vlog thing they do up in Virginia, where they go up there and they all meet a bunch of vloggers. I've thought about doing it, you know, but I can't. I can't go. But he reoriented himself. He said, I've got to get better. I've got to heal up first. I have things I have to do. What I wanted to do has to come in last. You have to put first things first when you're reorienting. You have to put first things first. Accept it, reorient, and there's one other thing you really need to do to really appreciate your failure. That's one you didn't think you'd hear. Appreciate my failure. That's crazy. You're crazy, Coach Bob. Here's how you appreciate your failure. And then you go, oh, wait a minute, I'm not a failure, I'm a success. There is success in failure. That's what I'm telling you. My daughter, I'm going to use my daughter for an example now. You know, as Coach Vic was starting to recover a little bit, in August things started happening with her daughter. And then things got worse and worse and worse. And then in February, it was like the pinnacle of bad. March was like the top of the Eiffel Tower in bad. And April was even worse. And then in May, things started making a big turnaround. But there for a while, I mean, she literally knocked on death's door 3 times. I mean, there were 3 times it was as good a chance she wasn't going to go home as she was. And so here I was, you know, and again, I don't want this to sound selfish, but in life you're going, man, this is not what I had in mind, right? Do you ever do that? This is not what I had in mind. I made plans. I had plans. I was going to do this, and I was going to do that, and then I was going to go to the gym, and then I was going to go on vacation, and then I was going to go to the beach. Me. I was going to get on my Spyder and ride thousands of miles. All of these things, all of those successes, right? All of those were goals. And had you achieved a goal, an achieved goal is called a success, right? Now all of a sudden your goals change. You don't realize they change. They've kind of been changed for you. And so as opposed to being bitter about those things, you have to look at the new successes that you have in your life. You know, my successes have been greater in the last 18 months than they were prior to that. They just are. The success of taking care of Coach Vic and watching her recover and seeing her get strong again. The success of my daughter, you know, looking like things are going to move in a major positive direction, and things have gotten way better, and they're just going to keep getting better. But all of these successes, they're real, they're tangible, they're important. They change people's lives. That's what we're in the business of, right? Really, if you want to choose happiness, change someone's life. Change your life. You know, I'm going to share a little bit about success and failure in my life right now. Now, obviously, I've shared that I have a lot of successes, and I feel more successful because I got to take care of my daughter, and she's doing well. There's a success. I got to take care of Coach Vic, and she's doing well. Right now, you know, there are other medical emergencies going on in my family with my sister. Please pray for my sister. She's also a Vicky, and she's having some heart problems, and she's very, very frightened. I mean, it could take her life, and it scares her. And I believe she's going to be fine. Let me say that up front. She's going to be fine, but it's still scary to her. It's a big deal. It's dangerous, man. You're dealing with your heart. It's pretty important stuff, right? But anyway, be praying for my sister. But back on me, on my successes and failures. My goals this year were to do some really big trips, to do 3 really big trips, all on the Spyder. And that hasn't happened. And here we are, we're, you know, midsummer, and it's not going to happen, y'all. It's just not. Now, am I going to make some trips? I am going to make some trips. I'm going to make a little trip next month. It may not be on the Spyder, maybe in my truck, but I'm going to make a little trip next month. In October, I'll obviously be doing Biketoberfest. In November, I'll be doing the DeLand Spyder Rally. You know, so I've got things that I'm doing, but the big giant trips, they're just not happening this year. I hope they happen next year, but you know what? If they don't, they don't. That's just the way it is. I'm dealing with nerve pain right now, big time, and Coach Vic, she groans, you know, she looks at me, she goes, oh, I know that hurts, right? And so, you know, it's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. So I'm having to kind of reorient myself right now. I'm resetting and reorienting right now as we speak. What is this going to mean for my life? Where does it take me from here? This is something that I can overcome through a better nutrition plan, through more exercise, through more stretching, through sacrifice of time, of free time, so that I can take better care of myself. Because I can't take time from my daughter, and I can't take time from Coach Vic. So that means my playtime has to be sacrificed. There's only so many hours in the day. I'll have to turn the TV off. I'll have to turn the phone off. I'll have to sacrifice my selfish time. The yard still needs mowing, the cars need cleaning, the house needs maintaining. So I have to reorient myself. Now, through all that, I'm going to be able to continue to ride this beautiful Spyder. Am I going to be able to continue to ride two-wheelers? I think I can, at least for another year or two. After that, I don't know. It depends. If my life makes a big turnaround, then yeah, I'll be able to. But if it doesn't, if things continue to get worse in 2 years, it'll be hard for me to get on this. I'm just being honest. I hope it doesn't come to that, and I'm not looking for sympathy. I'm not looking for sympathy. It's not what this is about. I get emails from people who are hurting, who are suffering now. My projected suffering is just that. It's a projection. It doesn't mean diddly freaking squat. You know what? I'm going to ride the wave, and I'm going to swim and body surf and enjoy the ride as long as I can. And then when I can't, I'll figure out a way to enjoy it in a different way. That's what I'm telling you to do. So, and I'm not asking you to do it. I'm telling you to do it. Now, I know what you're saying. I don't like being told what to do, coach. Well, I'm a coach, and that's just the way coaches are. We don't suggest. Practice doesn't make perfect. Practice makes permanent. If you get up every day and you're a negative Nelly and you hate your life and you're bitter because of the coulda, shoulda, wouldas, and man, it isn't what I thought it was going to be. You know, I live in a dump. I drive a piece of crap, and I eat junk food all the time. I'm 80 pounds overweight. All my clothes look like I've been painting the house in them. I stink, whatever. You know what you can do? You can get up, take a shower, wash your car, even if it's old. Clean it up. Get your life, get your house in order. Start resetting. People are going to notice. And when they notice, because of what you're putting out there, the Bible talks about you reap what you sow. When you start putting that out there, it starts coming back to you. It starts coming back to you. It's not instant. It's not overnight. I'm not going to tell you that it is. And it isn't easy. It's simple. You know how to do it, but it's not easy. If you think I'm passionate about this, if you're picking up on that, then you know something is really happening within me. I am a success. Because if you were to ask me, hey, here's 3 words that I live by. All right? These are very unpopular words in this country and 3 very unpopular words in this world. If you're here this long, then you'll get them. Know your role. Know your role. Now, here's what I mean by that. I'm a coach. That's a role in my life. I'm a husband. I'm a father. Those roles in my life, that is how I measure my successes. The most important roles in my life, when it comes to humanity, is my commitment to my wife and my commitment to my children. Those are number 1 and 2 when it comes to commitment to human beings. I'm not talking about God. I'm talking about commitment to human beings. Your spouse and your children. That's 1 and 2. And right now, I'm a success. I know that because whenever they have a need, who do they turn to? They turn to me because they know I won't let them down. I am a success. I saw a shirt this week that said this: money plus power equals respect. In my mind, that could not be further from the truth. If you want my respect, honor, integrity, code, the pursuance of excellence, the loyalty to the people that matter the most in your life, that is success. That is how I measure it. That is how I quantify it. I am the Galileo of commitment to excellence. I am the mathematician of pulling the formulas and the stars aligning so that you and me will be a more excellent person every single day, pursuing excellence in everything that we do. And we do that regardless of what direction we're heading, or how bad we're hurting, or how miserable things are. You, my friend, are a success. Okay, thank you. You're a success. I could have been a flat success had that woman run over me. All right. So there you have it. I hope you have found a little success out of your failures today, because you need to. You need to be happy. Exercise integrity at the moment of choice. And know this: you can ride the wave or you can be slammed into the bottom. My suggestion is go with the flow, baby, and figure out what you need to be doing. Pick your wave and ride it. All right. There you have it. Another one in the books, baby. So you do me a favor until next week. You go out. Yes, you. Buy the motorcycle of your dreams. Eat right. Take care of yourself. And remember, if you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong. Now you go seize the day, and I will see you on the road real soon, my successful friends. Yes, you are. Yes, you are.